And good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you may be around the world. I am Marcus Holmes, HR Passion Guy, here with another episode of Passion Fridays, where people and their passions intersect, where we talk about passionate people and passionate topics, and topics that will be of great interest to you. Hello to all of you that are joining in via Restream on LinkedIn Live, which I see people that are joining now. Thank you so much. Those that are on Facebook, I hope that you will just drop in the comments where you are and what the weather is like where you are. I am in Northwest Detroit, and it is sunny and it feels good to be in the 40s. Looks like it's getting close to the 50s. What a wonderful day it is, without regard to what the weather is like. Every day that we get is a wonderful day and worth us being on the gratefulness journey every day. I'm Marcus Holmes from HR Passion, and I am the HR Passion Guy. I'm very passionate about people and process and all things HR and music and so many things that I'm passionate about, but I'm excited to be able to come and to share with you. Drop in the comments who you are, so I'll know that I can track with you, whether you're on YouTube events, Twitch TV, LinkedIn Live, which is where we are springboarding this afternoon now, Facebook, on both the Marcus R. Holmes page and on the Love and Stuff page for our Love and Stuff community. Drop in the comments wherever you are, who you are, and a special thing I want you to drop in the comments today. Are you looking for a job? So if you are looking for a job, I want you to drop that in the comments and tell me something in the comments. How is that job search going for you? How is it going for you? Are you looking for a job? Are you looking to make a change? I know 2020 has brought a lot of change to a lot of people. Some forced change, some pivot change, change nonetheless. And, change is constant, but this change happened all at once, right? So some people are in a position where they find themselves looking for a new job. Some people, this has shaken them, if you will, to get out of their comfort zone and levels of comfortableness and say, you know what, I should be seeking more, doing more, being more. Give me some likes or loves if that's you, that this unprecedented time of pandemic and of racism and of all of the things that have happened have shaken you in a way to say, I want more meaning, more for my life. Lavelle Nero is on our LinkedIn Live group, and he's saying he's looking for a new career. Well, I hope that we provide some helpful information to you, along with everybody that's looking for opportunities. Drop them in the comments. Can I get a job abroad? Okay. And Cynthia, you might have to tell me, you're on our Facebook platform. Where do you want to be? That's a great question to start, right? We've been shaken, some of us, and hopefully that shakening hasn't been so detrimental that you can't even focus, because for some of us, this shakening has brought us into a place where we needed to talk to somebody, to talk it out. And if you're in that place, start there first, right? I know that we want to get the job and we want to get the home and we want to get back on our feet. But if you haven't gotten a good grasp of your footing, if you will, you probably do need to have a conversation with somebody first. That's the first thing, right? Let's get our mindfulness initiative going. Let's sit in the center of our reality, understand it, reflect upon it, and use it to power forward through gratefulness. That's a whole nother show. But we certainly want that to happen for you, because if you don't get and drill into who that authentic self is first, you're going to be misaligned in any search, be it job or love or home. You're going to be misaligned. All right. And Cynthia would love to work in America. Wonderful, Cynthia. And I want you to keep talking to me, keep tracking with me, drop in the comments and tell me, what is your passion? What is that work in America that you like to do? All right. And so I have been blessed for over 24 years. I know I barely look 24. For over 24 years to work in human resources in various companies and capacities. But currently I'm with the city of Detroit, and I've been with the city of Detroit for 17 and a half years. And so I've held a number of positions. And when I just thought about it, I've literally interviewed thousands of people, in part because we do a lot of seasonal hiring and hiring for evergreen type of positions in most of the opportunities that I've had. And so having done that, I've interviewed thousands of people. And I love people, and I'm fascinated by people and people behavior. I started out in psychology in college as a major. I moved away from that and went into business, but I'm always trying to pull forward some of that psychology into the business. Very fitting. And so I ended up in human resources, and I love human resources because I love people and process. And I think those are largely themes that cross all aspects of business, especially for human resources. And we've arrived at a time where it's more important, I feel, than ever. And so I cherish that work, and I cherish being a part of the Society of Human Resources Management as a certified professional, the Human Resources Certification Institute as a certified professional. And so I just want to bring to you some of the things from that experience, from all of those experiences, but you must put it in context that each company, each opportunity is going to bring a unique set of circumstances. But there are some tips I think that will help you in your job search if you're looking to pivot. And a lot of people, both candidates and organizations, are thinking about pivot this time of year. A lot of organizations, their fiscal starts the calendar year, right? January 1st would be a new fiscal for many organizations. Unlike the city, our fiscal is July 1st to June 30th. But a lot of companies, their fiscal is starting the calendar year. So budgets are being considered, how those budgets will be expended are being considered. Positions, people are more likely to make a move to go for a new position at this time of year going into the next year. And so I want you to be thinking, if you're a candidate or if you're an organization, about some of this information that you might bake into your process, because you have a process. And if your process isn't organized, that's your process, right? You got a process that's not organized and you're out here job hunting, okay? Lavelle says, looking in the areas of communication, PR, marketing, and event planning. And I want to talk to you about those, Lavelle, because are you looking to do that as an entrepreneur, or you want to move into an organization and do that for the organization, and which area? Because sometimes those are three very distinctive areas, though you've had marked success from my standpoint in all of those areas. I just want to highlight that for any business owners or HR professionals and colleagues that might see your quest, if you will. And so I thought I would do this today for two reasons. One of them is I've had an increase of people inboxing me, which I love inboxes. And if you know me, I respond to every inbox. I might not respond in the first 5 minutes, but I respond to every inbox. I really think it's important. It has always been important to me. And though my primary function is not recruiting today, whenever you are an HR professional, people think that you recruit, and they think that you either hire or fire. Those are the things people think about of human resources. Okay, Lavelle, I see that. Organization. Okay, thank you, sir. We'll maybe get your face on the camera if you don't mind in a bit, but I'll as we go through this hour, maybe make that opportunity for you, just for organizations to see there's a very gifted, creative, and talented individual out there, and you want to grab him up if you're looking for a communications, PR, marketing, or event planning individual. All right. So people inbox me quite frequently, which I love. Keep inboxing me, and I respond. I don't think there's anybody who will tell you I don't respond to their inbox, be it LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever you might have some connection point with me. I try to respond to every email, every text, every inbox. Now, some people say, hey, you got to be judicious and decide not to respond. Because I'm in HR, and because people think that everybody in HR is either hiring or firing, and there's a whole there are a lot more things that are done, and currently those two aren't my roles. Hopefully I never have to fire anybody. I am a leader, but hopefully that's not what I have to do. But so people see me or hear me or talk to me and say, oh, he's in HR. Oh, and they inbox me and they say, I applied for this position. Can you help me get the interview? I have an interest in this position. Can you help me? I have an interest in this. Can you help me? And what I often hear in that is that people may not have a strategic process of getting that coveted interview or getting into a position. And so I thought I would raise that today, along with I thought I would raise there are positions in the organization, the city of Detroit, and one of them is an HRIS, or you might call it an HRMS manager. So Human Resources Information Systems Manager, Human Resources Management Systems Manager position. And I'm going to talk through a little bit of how you might go about seeking this job. Okay. So when those people inbox me, and some of them we are connected, first connections on LinkedIn, some of them were second connections, some of them were third connections, right? And I am privileged to have a number of first connections, but I think they would say of me and I would say of them, we haven't all met face to face or had coffee, not every one of us, right? So basically, if I ask of them something, an interview, an opportunity, a foot in the door, a second look at my resume, I'm really asking for something based on not a deep enough connection. So when you are looking for a job, and I would say you're looking for a job and you're 30 days, 60 days, 90 days out from the job, I want you to have the mindset that if you're looking today for a job, as pressing as it may be for you and I to have one, especially in this environment, because so much concern about stability and safety for everybody, right? Because today you could be healthy and tomorrow you could be battling COVID, right? Today you could have a position, tomorrow you could be furloughed, right? So everyone has this trepidation, if you will, around having stability. I get that. But really, in your plan that you're building, looking for a job, 30, 60, 90, write that down. You might need a job, and most of them are not going to materialize in 30 days unless you are on a short list for a company who has what they consider a critical hire. Okay. But not every position, no matter how people tell you, not every position is a critical hire, meaning the business is going to lose market share and money if I don't have a person in this spot tomorrow. That's really a critical hire. We're going to lose some function of the business if we don't have that person in place today. That's a critical hire. And when we have hiring freezes and all of this, I always, when I'm in that role of hiring or a HR business partner as a manager, I'm always making a priority of what really are critical hires. Because to the hiring manager, who is that manager or supervisor who needs that person in place, every hire is critical. And I don't want to diminish that. But really, I'm talking about a level of criticality that put your business at risk if the person isn't in place. And that's typically a 30-day, right? So someone is on a fast track. I'm going to say less than 25% of positions are that. Okay. So you should plan that the process might take longer than 30 days. Now, people have ambitious goals in general in talent acquisition, talent coordination, talent management, recruiting, all of those titles, to have a time to fill from the time a position is requisitioned to the time an offer is made is the time to fill. and they want that to be less than 30 days. Some will say the time a position is requisitioned to the time someone's rear end is in the seat. We call it butts in the seat, not the most attractive term, but the time that that person is actually in the seat. Some say 30 days, right? Some even go far to say from the time a position is requisitioned to the time that that person is productive, or as productive as the person that had replaced them, time to productivity, that they want that time to be 45 to 120 days. So they want to see that that person was a good fit, came in, hit the ball ground running, took the ball and knocked it out the park, and they're performing at a level that we only missed the space of the time to get that person, right? So there's not a large learning curve. Sometimes people put goals of 120 days as the time to productivity, okay? But thinking of 30, 60, 90 days, plan for the 60, okay? So plan that you are going after positions and companies to get hired in 60 days. Now, 90 days, I'm going to be honest, in this market where companies are pivoting, and even before this, you will find organizations whose time to hire in certain positions are above 90 days. Not most of them. Most of them are working very diligently to improve the candidate experience and the amount of time that they're engaging to below that 90 days, but there are times. So set yourself, when you're going to look for the job, 60 days. That puts pressure on, but takes some off. Because if you go into an interview, a recruiting funnel, trying not to do too much HREs, if you go into the process thinking that I'm gonna get this job in 2 weeks, what sometimes you do come across is as desperate. And sometimes when you come across as desperate, even though you're a really great candidate, it raises a red flag for people, unfortunately. You want to go into the process with the self-concept, and we talked about this before, and I'll share a little bit of the information. With the self-concept as one of your traits. We talked about motives and traits when we're talking about responses, and we'll get to that shortly. You want to have a strong self-concept. Psychologist Carl Rogers says if you have a strong self-concept, you're more apt to do better in whatever area because you have a stronger sense of self. So you go into the I almost said recruiting funnel again. You go into the process having a strong sense of self, not arrogant, right? A strong sense of self that you're going to bring as much value to any organization as they're going to bring to you. All right. That's the first step, which is an important step that I wanted to raise. And just going back to the comments, thank you, Tabitha. She's kind of tracking some of the information for us. Thank you so much. She is such a blessing to me. What a phenomenal person. And, you know, I don't want her current employer to, you know, somebody to snatch her up. And I'm just saying, 30, 60, 90 days. Thank you for that. 30-day critical hire, less than 20% opportunity fits this category. Thank you so much. All right. She's synthesizing all those things I'm saying. I love it. So right after that, strong sense of self, good self-concept, right? Again, if you're having trouble pivoting in this time, first things first, get your mindset, get your mindfulness, get yourself together before you enter this process, and then set yourself a plan and goal so that you can be the very best that you can be. All right. One quick break. We'll be right back because I want to talk to you about the next step.
Welcome to Powerful Money Tools, LLC. At Powerful Money Tools, we are here to prepare for your future. We want to talk about financial freedom. Financial freedom is budgeting, credit building, and also financial education. So once again, welcome to Powerful Money Tools, LLC. We can't wait to help you in your financial future.
Thanks, Christina Smith from Powerful Money Tools. You want to get your finances right? She's a great organization to partner with to work on the new you in the new year. Wanted to just double back as we are sharing across Restream to YouTube events, Facebook, Twitch TV, and here on LinkedIn Live. people are looking for jobs. And so before you get on that job search, make sure that you're on a wholeness search, right? To make sure you are whole so that you can bring your authentic self to your process. All right. Then we talked about 30, 60, 90 days so that you focus on the 60, 30 as the critical hires, 90 is the outlier, if you will. And sometimes people go beyond that outlier of the time from when they requisition a position, saying this position is vacant and we can fill it, to the time that someone accepts an offer. That's that time to fill. So hopefully the clock has already started ticking if you've applied, right? So if you apply day 14, it's not 60 days from that date. Hopefully it's 46 days if you're following the math. All right. So, but don't go into the process saying, I got to get a job today. I got to get a job today. Sometimes when you do that, here are some of the things that follow behind it. You start to send a bunch of email to the recruiter. You start to focus on absorbing every piece of information about the organization, and that's great, but you're going to have to synthesize some of that information. So you don't have a targeted search and approach for the information that you will need to prepare. And you have not strategically planned, which is the second thing. You haven't strategically planned how you might leverage the net worth of your network. Okay? Your network is very important. And I know you've heard this 1,000 times, but as a person who's interviewed thousands of people, I can tell you over 17 and a half years with the city, 24 total in human resources, I can tell you that even I need to up my net worth through my networks. Okay, through my network. Okay, so you gotta make sure that what is your network? Your network currently is everyone you know. Okay, I want you to start there. Everyone you know. Okay, and everyone that you know of. Everyone you know of, and everyone they know. Now that's how I want you to look at your network. There are tons of network professionals who will tell you your network is this or that. And I'm not here to really argue that. I'm proffering what I can proffer from my experience. Here's the challenge. Many people try to get to that 60 days if they have a number. Okay, maybe you don't have a number, you're just trying to get to the job. They try to get to that 60 days through the people who they know, if that makes sense. So they try to get to the people that they know of because somebody else knows them. Or they try to get to the people that the people they know of knows. Say it better, okay? They try to get to those people, and it is almost synonymous with a cold call. So it's kind of like a lead, right? You got a lead to a position and you don't know that person. You know of that person through someone else. You know someone that knows them. Or you don't know them, but you know someone that knows someone that knows them. And you reach out to that former, that first that I mentioned, the person that you don't even know, to say, hey, here I am. I'm looking for a job. And less than 10% of those people will make the kind of time and have the kind of heart to respond in a way that will deepen your connection to them. They're just saying, who is this? I don't know you. But what would happen if you deepened the connections with the people that you know to connect you to the people you know of, and then say to them, do you mind if I mention that I am looking for a job and I happened upon it through you. Okay. Now, before you get there, start with the people that you know. Write down the list of the people that you know that are in business, that own businesses, that are in HR, and that are in the organizations that you want to work for. And I would suggest, even if you see one really good position, it's like, oh, this is me. I could do this. I could feel this. I got this. Make sure in that position that you possess 80 to 100% of what they are asking for. And if you only possess 80, make sure that you possess at least one or two of the preferred things they're asking for. You've seen those preferred. They're looking for a specific license from an industry, a specific software knowledge, working knowledge of a specific lean process or something of that nature, process improvement methodology. If you have those preferreds and 80%, you could be a solid candidate. You have 100% in preferreds, of course, you're going to be on a different level, right? Make sure you have that. And then when you look at that position, ask yourself, now, does my buck stop here? Do I stop searching because I found the ideal position? Or do I take that position and look at other organizations that are in competition with that organization, or other organizations that have similar positions in different industries? Before you say, this is the spot for me, don't just make your search one position that stands out to you. And don't just make it, I'm going to do a keyword to see what everybody is hiring. Okay? Start first with the organizations that resonate with you. So if it's Google that resonates with you, I know Google is under a lot of fire right now. I'm trying to get one of the former members of their team to come on and talk about it on LinkedIn Live. You should tweet her now and tell her, come talk to us on LinkedIn Live. But if that's your company, then you should also look at Microsoft. You should also look at, you follow what I'm saying? And see if they have the same position available. Before you just say, in 60 days, I want this position. I want you to broaden it. Okay? So if you have 5, let's say you have 5 positions you want to go after, right? You find these 5 positions and you want to make sure your application is in for these 5 positions within the first 5 days of your exposure to those positions. Now, you got to check the dates on this, right? You have to make sure that those 5 days don't go beyond when the position closes, because you could just be learning about a position that closes tomorrow. That means you got to apply today, right? But if there's time, 5 days to make sure that you're ready to apply for that position. So you got 5 positions, okay? 5. And with those 5 positions, you're going to compare your list of everybody that you know first, right? These are the people you actually have met. Now, we're in an environment where you're meeting people on Zoom. That qualifies for meet, okay? Someone you have said your name to, they said their name to, you've had some conversation with them, and you've exchanged connection information, you can include them in your know, okay? You don't have to include them in your know of in today's environment, okay? But typically you'd have a little bit more information, but people are understanding we're pivoting, right? Make that list of the people that you know and see if any of those people work at any of these 5 companies. Okay? Not the people that you know of. You've been on a seminar with them and they were the presenter. You know of them, right? Somebody that you know is good friends with them. They're posting on their page about them all the time. Not those people, just the people that you know. Cross-reference the people that you know with these 5 companies to determine whether or not there is a first connection. Even if you're not on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, if they're a friend connection, but friends, I have some friends that I don't have that first connection with, right? Make sure it's somebody that you know. If it's not anybody that you know, then you got to delve into the know of, right? And you start to ask those first connections and you start to research through Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, TV, wherever you are, YouTube, and determine who that you know knows who. You can do mutual friends, right? You can do different searches that you put in there, the name of companies, especially on LinkedIn, right? To see who do you know that works there, okay? And you send them a nice inbox if you don't have an email address, if you don't have a phone number, and you say, hey, I hope things are well with you. I see that there's this opening at your organization. I'd like to learn more. Can I talk to you a little bit about the position, or is there somebody else that you would connect to me? I just want to know a little bit more than what's on the paper. Keep it short and simple. They may reply and say, oh, yeah, reach out to HR. That's telling you they don't know a lot about the position and they don't want to put their neck out there for you. And that's okay. That's fine. They've connected you with the person in HR who you will follow up with after you have applied and after you have checked their applicant tracking system, which might have automatic notifications. Okay. But what you do with that connection that they've given to you is that you go to their LinkedIn page and you comment on some posts that they have posted. Or if they have articles, you read one of those articles and you comment on that article. This is the person that you don't know that you're being connected to as a connection about a specific position. You go and comment on their article. You go and comment on their post. You don't stalk their post. Don't inbox them yet. Don't contact them yet. That person may or may not be the recruiter. That person may or may not want to be inundated with that kind of communication. And you have not done what is key with someone that you are not firsthand connected to. You have not offered value to them, which makes them feel that they need to reciprocate. So when I comment on someone's post or read someone's article and said that was insightful, and don't make it up if it wasn't insightful, say you raised a good point, but I think this, that's a way of saying, well, maybe it wasn't insightful, but I think something differently. And you comment on their post, you are keeping the conversation alive, adding dialogue to it, adding engagement to it. You have brought some value. Do that first with someone that you are not firsthand connected with, and even those that you are firsthand connected with. But especially if you're not firsthand connected with, bring value to them before you ask. And the way that you do that is not offer them coffee, right? Not somebody that you haven't met. You bring value to them through a LinkedIn group that they're a member of, that you join and you get involved in the conversation where they've made a post, an article, a post. You like a picture and make a comment. Okay. Then you make your application and you make sure, prerequisite is your resume has been reviewed and it has appropriate keywords. And when I say appropriate keywords, some people will not tell you to do this, but if you have 5 jobs that you're applying for that you hope to get in 60 days, you might have 5 versions of your resume. You can have one great version, but you might have 5 that are more geared toward that organization. And when I say more geared toward that organization, what is that organization's core values? And how does your experience reflect those values? That's what your resume should say. What are the core competencies that are needed for this position? And how does your resume reflect those core competencies and highlight your scores and lessons and wins? Okay. And that is what you're sending to that organization. And it is almost, it's at least a part-time job searching for a full-time job, because you're going to put that degree of specificity in it to tailor it for that organization. Okay. Now, you just need to be savvy with Word or Canvas or all of these tools that are out there, maybe to make some adjustments and switches, or have a great friend who won't charge you a lot to do it. But you can have a resume professionally written, but if they are a great talent acquisition specialist in this environment, they understand that resources are scarce and you may not be able to pay someone to do your resume at this level. Okay. But they do want, if they have a parsing system that scans resumes, they do want it to do keyword analysis. So you want to make sure keywords to that organization, core values, core competencies, and the industry. So if it's Google is the organization, HR is the industry, keywords, right? Employee engagement is a keyword for an HR business partner to have in his or her resume. Strategy. Okay. A project manager might have agile methodologies. So there's nomenclature that a position might look for. Okay. All right. You don't know anybody in the organization and no one that you know of is connected to them. Your next thing that you're going to do, because hopefully I've given some light on some of the things you would do if you are connected to someone, or you're trying to get them to connect you to someone, or the them that you're trying to get them to connect you to is connected to the hiring manager. All of those things that I just mentioned are things you would do for anybody that you're connected to at any layer down. So again, if you don't know the hiring manager, but you know who the hiring manager is, the person who's going to make the final decision on this hire, if you happen to find out that name, you don't send him or her an inbox and say, hey, I applied for this position. You don't know them. Less than 10% of them are going to respond and say, oh, great. Have you made an application? I'll look forward to reviewing it and remember your name. Less than 10%, because not everybody's going to make that time and not everybody's going to have that heart. They want you to go through the process. Okay. They want their short list to be given to them or go through whatever screen. They've invested some time on the front end and they want you to go through that process. Okay. You're going to, for that person, you're going to find them on LinkedIn. You're going to comment on a post. Most of our posts, a lot of us are public, so you can comment on them. You're going to comment on that post. You're going to join a group that they're joined. And again, this is not inauthentic, because hopefully you would be interested in the same kinds of groups that they would be involved in. So if it's HR, there are HR groups on LinkedIn, right? And you're going to see if they're commenting, see if they like the post, and then you're going to like and comment on that post. No, you're not going to like and comment on 50 posts. That's stalking. Choose one that really resonates with you. And we've talked in other LinkedIn Lives about your core motives, traits, and values. So what are those things that resonate with you? Are you a person that likes achievement, which is a core motive in the job context? Are you a person that likes affiliation? Are you a person that likes power and status? These are core motives that McClellan, a psychologist, talks about, David McClellan, about what drives our ambitions and interest in the job context. So some people like to be affiliated with other people. You like to belong. Belonging is big to you, right? Some people like to achieve. You like to save the company money. You like to increase the revenues. You like to increase morale. Some people like to be in pivotal positions of power so that they can wield influence, right? So you have to determine what that is for you, okay? And those things you comment on that resonate with the core motives of who you are. So someone is in the engineering field and they're talking about some new engineering technology that is going to be the premier in the industry, and you're a person that likes to achieve and be premier, or your person of power that likes the status, that resonates with you. It should get your adrenaline flowing, and you should start writing your post. Make sure, you make sure it's grammatically correct. Start writing your post and connect it. And then wait, see if that person responds or likes it. And when you see there's some engagement with it, then you send them an inbox. Hey, I know we're not connected. I'm really looking seriously at your company. It looks like a great place to work, and there's a position available. I'd love to, I'm already in the process, so I'll go through the process, but I just wanted to connect with you. You've already commented on the post they've commented on. They're going to check out your page and see, okay, who are you? And those are the kind of connections that you want to start to increase the value of your network. Now you're pulling someone in closer to the inner part of your network, right? And remember, you want to be giving to that person so that you can get something back. Okay. You want to give so that you can get back. Right. And it's a tough thing, but sometimes when you're giving just to get back, it becomes apparent. So make sure, that's why I want you to do it from your core motives. Do it from your core interests. What are you interested in? Those are the posts that you want to comment on. That's what you want. If there's an article and it's of no interest to you, it may come across as most gratuitous or patronizing or inauthentic for you to comment on and say, "Oh, I loved your article," or you might say, "I really don't have an area of interest. Can I talk to you more about this article? You really are educating me. I'm not even sure this is a real interest of mine, but I'd like to hear more." But don't give just to get back. When you give and it's authentic, people feel like they should give back to you. And that's what you want to create. That's the aspect you want to create in a connection where you don't really have a connection. You just know of a person or you've heard their name in the industry, which brings me to that next thing. And we're at 1242. If there is no connection in the organization, you don't know anybody, nobody that you know knows anybody in this company, and you've really researched that and you've spent about 10 days in your clock ticking. So you're applying for the position. You're going to apply, right? You're not going to wait until you have a connection to apply. Let me clarify that. You're going to apply for the position, 5 positions or so that you think are a good match for you, hopefully to attain within 60 days or less. You're going to apply. So you do that. But you find out through your research that you don't know anybody in the company and nobody you knows anybody. The next thing you want to do is what is called a mention analysis. Mention analysis. So you go on Google, or you go, I'm giving Google these shouts out. I don't know if I should be doing that. You come on LinkedIn, and you, in the search bar, you type in the name of the company and it gives you a list of the people who work there, right? And you look at the names, don't click on every page and research every person, but scroll down through that list and see who is closest to the area that you want to work in. So if it's marketing, look at somebody that has marketing in their title, okay? Leave the HR for last, okay? Marketing in their title, and then take that person's name. Don't click on their page because, of course, they're going to see that you're looking at their page, and that's not the first thing that you want to do. I wouldn't recommend it. It works for some people who are looking for you to look for them, but you don't want to make that your way of as a part of your process. I'm trying not to use too much nomenclature. So take that name and put it in your search engine and click find or search or whatever, hit enter, and see what comes up first. More likely than not, that's the article or piece of content where they have had the most engagement or most mention. Click on it, read it. Is it an article about them? Is it a bio about them? Have they been in the news? That's typically what's going to come up first. You can look and see how many likes, how many people have clicked on this, how many people have searched this. All of that can help you in determining how often is this person being mentioned, okay? In that mention analysis, and you see how often they're being mentioned, the top 3 in that list of people. So let's say you had 3 people in marketing that you looked on LinkedIn. Those top 3 are the people whose groups and articles you want to follow so that you can comment on. So these again are people you don't know. You're not sending them a connection request initially. You're going through the same process of engaging them. Go to their post that they authored, preferably, and comment. Like it and comment. Don't just like any post again. Like a post that resonates with you. So that means you might have to go down the page and say, oh, something that you really agree with or something that you really disagree with. And if you're not good at phrasing your disagreements. Get good at phrasing those first. Go to a Grammarly or go to Google, how to deliver a counter point. You might start a counterpoint with, "That's fascinating that you say it that way. I've always thought this, and I've always followed this," which seems like it might be contradictory to your point, but I'd love to talk to you more about how these two things both can work. It puts that ball in their court to say, "Yeah, connect with me," or not to respond, say, "Well," or maybe they respond right there. And then if they do respond right there, you say, "Oh, I love this. Could I connect with you and talk more?" You just made a connection in front of everybody. They're more likely to say yes. And then you don't jump in there and say, "Because I applied for a position and I want you to hire me." No, you keep talking the talk. And when it seems like that talk, that thread is coming to a close, you're saying, "By the way, I did see that you had a position in your organization. Are you the hiring manager? I don't want to jump ahead of the process, but I just wanted to put my name out there in the event that I could be considered." You build that connection. And once you build a connection, you have to nurture it like any other relationship. There are tools out here that you can use, or you can make yourself a list of your top 30 connections that you connect with them on one channel or more on social media every week. And you find the way that they like to connect. Some people like their LinkedIn inbox versus their Facebook inbox. Some people like to be text versus email. You get to learn how people like to be communicated to, which medium, if you will, and how frequently. Say, "Hey, if you don't mind, I'm just going to touch bases with you. I'm on this journey, and any tips or tools that you can think of helping me along." People say, "Sure, if I hear of anything." And that's far better for you than inboxing someone that you do not know. Now, for me, I'm not going to refer someone to a hiring manager that I don't know. I may mention the name of a person I don't know to a hiring manager as somebody that's looking for a job, but a real referral is, "This is the person I know," or "This is a person that's great," or "This is a person that would be a steal for your company." Those are true referrals. And I don't advise anybody to give a referral because it's your name and reputation and brand unless you know the person. But you can do a disclaimer and say, "Hey, I do it all the time. Someone inboxed me on LinkedIn and said they're looking for work. I don't really know them, but it looks like they have some great experience. You might want to take a look at them." My word might carry something with that hiring manager and they might actually look. But I did less than a referral. I didn't say, "I know, Lavelle Nero. I know that he would rock at your company for event planning, promotions, marketing, communications." See, that's a referral. I actually know Lavelle Nero, and I would make that recommendation. So if you want to hire him, it would be a steal. Hear his story, talk to him some more, and you might find out why he's looking, but I think he's worth a sit down. That's a referral. If I said, "Hey, Lavelle Nero inboxed me. I know him. I've known him over the years, but I really don't know about his work. But you might want to give him a talk to, if you would." Now that's going on the strength and breadth of my reputation that somebody might act upon it, right? And I hope to believe that I've established that with enough hiring managers that they would. But it really isn't a true referral. A true referral speaks to someone's competencies and core values, authentic self, and that they are worth connecting to. And the more of those that you build, the closer you are to the 60 days. Because it is important both what you know and who you know, but a step further, it's how you use what you know and who you know. And I don't mean use like I'm using you up. How do you leverage what you know and who you know? That's the most important thing. Because if you leverage who you know to connect to who they know, and even when you don't know anybody, you create influencers, micro influencers for your own situation, which is what we just really talked about. You find the people through mention analysis, or you find the people most popular in those organizations, and you connect to them, and then thereby build a pathway to connection to others, is how you leverage the net worth of your network and increase the net worth of your network. Okay? And so you go through all of that, and hopefully your keywords and your experience in your resume and your cover letter that you attach when you upload, and whatever licenses, whatever they ask of you to do, you connect those things and you get the opportunity. All right. And I know that we will have to do another session on the developing of your questions, which happens in that 60 days, or your responses rather. But I'm going to share a little bit of that information right now. All right. And so here I want to share is the actual, I'm trying to share. Okay, there should be another document. Okay, trying to share the actual, okay, let's see if we can share it. Document. Yep, there it is. So the city of Detroit, and I'll give it a moment to populate, is hiring for a human resources information systems. Okay, let's make sure it is populating. All right. Okay, you should see it on the screen now. A human resources information systems manager. It is a human resources position. And this person is going to be tasked with supervising, planning, managing, and coordinating the design, implementation, and maintenance of human resources information systems and related systems. So currently in the city of Detroit, we are in the final phase, or a latent phase, I better say, not final, of launching our HR core system, which is Ultimate Software, UltiPro. And so there are different modules to that, but an HRIS manager in this regard is going to help design and implement all aspects of those, of standing up those systems, and the coordination of the information that comes from the legacy systems into those systems. He or she goes farther to look at the needs of the city of Detroit, especially the human resources department, as it relates to the entire life cycle. So from onboarding, from engaging candidates and making our brand aware through systems, to the separation of employees who may go on to other opportunities, but may still be a part of our talent community, and how we keep engaged with those through systems, and every step in between, from promotions, from engagement, from all of the systems that would help maintain a viable and dynamic workforce. As those systems relate to human capital and people, this HRIS manager is going to be a person that is intricately involved. And that person having knowledge of UltiPro and other programs like Oracle and NeoGov and OPAC will help that person to be a successful candidate. This person is a manager, will be responsible for leading a team and developing the members of those teams to proactively find ways to not only just seamlessly streamline activities and tasks within the human resources function that impact business units throughout the city, but to improve process and to improve workflows and the automation of those workflows, so that the work maneuvering becomes easier, the work machinations become easier, and really the outputs are more quality and more thorough and more quantity. for the city of Detroit. So every system that you can think, from applicant tracking, again, onboarding, performance evaluation, learning management, network organizational analysis, all of those, and HRIS managers at the front of that, looking at what is being used in the industry, what is the best organic approach for the city of Detroit as an employer, given its many lines of business rather, and subcultures. What are going to be the best things to draw out employee engagement responses and climate surveys, organizational analysis, all of those tools. That person is going to stay on the cutting edge to determine what are the best ones and what's the best strategy to deploy it within the city of Detroit's culture and environment. And so, again, if you are looking for a position like this, I would say you're going to go to the duties and responsibilities and make sure they're familiar for you. This you'll find on the website, www.detroitmi.gov/employment. You're going to look at the HRIS Manager 2, because that's the position that we are hiring for. You're going to look at the knowledge, skills, and abilities we call KSAs, and make sure these are things that you possess. And then I want you to hone in after you've done that. Of course, you're going to look at the physical demands and all of that, but home in on what we call the MEQs, the minimum entrance qualifications. I again would say 80% plus preferreds, or 100%, anywhere between 80 and 100. Yes. But if you're at 80, 85, I'd say have 80, 85% of what they're looking for, and then make sure you have the preferreds. Okay. Make sure you have the preferreds and special requirements. And then look at what, I don't see the subjects and weights here, but typically the subjects and weights are how they're going to, oh, this isn't the posting. Thank you. This is the job spec. I apologize. So when you look at the posting, it's going to tell you how they're going to evaluate you. And I'm a strong proponent of an assessment including multi-tiers, so that we can make sure that we can accomplish diversity and inclusion, equity, access, and belonging goals, because you don't want people to just get locked into their biases. Even if people become conscious of their biases, that's only part of the work. Now that you're conscious of a bias that was unconscious, what are you going to do about it? And so we want to do everything we can to alleviate the reliance on information that might be processed through a bias. And so you want to make sure that you have many different assessments, 2 to 3 assessments, so that it isn't 100% on an interview, because you might be looking at a great candidate who hasn't learned how to interview well. Tons of them out there. Or a great candidate who isn't as strong in writing, but is as strong in doing and leading and inspiring a team. So you got to have multiple ways that you get a composite score or picture of an individual. And it drives the engagement when you don't put all of the pressure on one thing, and you give people an opportunity to bring their authentic selves to many things. So you should, if you are looking for an HRIS manager position, apply for that with the city of Detroit, www.detroitmi.gov/employment. And if you're looking for a position just like Lavelle Nero did, drop in the comments, what is the position you're looking for? And let's work together to synthesize this information so that you have your 30, 60, 90-day plan, and you achieve your goal of having that great position and opportunity in a great company where you can flourish and sit in the center of your passion authentically. Tune in next time. We're going to talk about that next step, which is starting to craft your responses to some of the questions that you think might be answered. And we'll help you with the you think part. How do you come up with questions that might be asked on an interview? And how do you craft your responses so that those responses are a representative of your authentic self in first, second, and sometimes third interview, but first or second interviews? Drop in your comments, share the information widely. I'm Marcus Holmes. We're at the top of the hour. This is Passion Fridays. I'm the HR Passion Guy, Marcus Holmes, of course. And I hope that you will share this information. I hope it was helpful to you. And if it was, click a like or share, click a heart, just that we know that the information we're bringing to you on these Passion Fridays makes sense for what you're trying to do. So if it is December 11th, and if you are saying, I'm ready to pivot and go to a new organization, get a new position, or you were impacted by this current pandemic and you need to make a move, set your strategic plan for looking for that job. Make your journey strategic, 30, 60, 90, and start to increase and to leverage the net worth of your network. Have a grateful day. Have a grateful Friday and weekend. And you can join us on the gratefulness journey every day. We are, I think, a little shy of 30 days away from our book being on Amazon, The Gratefulness Journey Every Day, how a simple, very simple process could bring you a transformative experience in your life through the power of gratefulness. Have a great day.